Welcome to Gulfstream today. Ron Nicoletti, joined by our track announcer Pete Aiello for a Saturday's card, an 11-race card. Pete, we got to start the day. The main track has been sealed. It is fast, but it's been sealed because our first race today is going to be on the turf. Turf course is listed as firm. If you weren't joining us last week on Labor Day, we had that big carryover in the Rainbow Six, and they hit it, so we started anew. Got about $4,800 in it starting today. I thought they were going to nail it yesterday, Pete.
Yeah, but it was a couple of upsets yesterday, including our free roll, who was defeated in the feature race yesterday. So we'll see how the sequence plays out this afternoon. I think this sequence is pretty tricky.
Yeah, it's pretty tricky, and they bet about $25,000 into it yesterday. Of course, 70% is given back to the bettors. Only 30% goes into that pool today. Before we delve into the Saturday card, let's see what's out there in Twitter world. And the first tweet we want to show you about is, the Kentucky Derby Future Book opens up at Wynn Las Vegas, and Nyquist, who's undefeated 3 for 3, won the Grade 1 Del Mar Futurity and the Best Pal, 35-1 to start. He's not going to stay there. But why I wanted to mention this horse, Nyquist was bought right here in the Fasig-Tipton sale last February, and we got official yesterday, the date for the 2016 sale, February 29th this year.
That'll be part of a great winter meeting here at Gulfstream Park. And then speaking of great things that are happening in the Stronach Group family, we have Preakness tickets that are on sale in less than 1 month. You certainly want to make your plans to join us in Baltimore for the 2016 Preakness second leg of the Triple Crown.
Yeah, you get your Preak on, and it was so much fun there last year. I had I was up there, and I had just had a ball. Also, today, our sister track, Laurel, is opening up, and boy, what a nice card they have there. They have a bunch of stakes. They have the Lady Baltimore, the Salima, the Futurity, the Laurel Dash. So big stakes day there, opening day today.
Yeah, the Laurel Futurity this afternoon, 5.5 furlongs over the turf, featuring a 2-year-old winner right here from Gulfstream Park. Formal summation blew up the tote board at 75-1 when winning on debut here at Gulfstream Park. Went north to New Jersey, went off 5-2 and had some trouble. Gets Antonio Gallardo for Kathleen O'Connell. That's race 8. Formal summation, South Florida hopeful 6-1 on the morning line.
So opening day today at Laurel, and of course, if you're out here at Gulfstream Park, you can watch wager on all these great tracks throughout the country, and especially Laurel today, opening day. Now let's get into the Saturday card. Of first race, as I mentioned, 5 furlongs on the turf. Claimants, fillies and mares 3 and up. Non-winners of 2 races in life, $12,500. 9 runners are going to go to the post. Pete, you started in here with the number 3 horse, and that is Sora up there right now, very early in the wagering at 5-1.
Well, we had some rain earlier on this morning, and currently it actually is raining right now. So the turf course will have a little cut in it, and that's been very, very good if you're a horse that wants to come from off the speed. Number 4, Sweet Amy, is your likely favorite. She's also the speed in here. Taken together, I'll pass on her. I'll try to get a rallier from the back. I thought Sora merited consideration. 5-1's a little short for me, but as you said, Ronnie, early on in the wagering right now, Sora was a good 4th 2 starts ago on the turf course. Draw a line through her last race. It was on the main track. Draw a line for her race 3 back. It was going long. She's now doing what she's done best, which is sprint on the turf.
Well, I went with the 4, Sweet Amy, now in the Wesley Ward barn, and the Speedy Daughter of Key Entry you mentioned is going to be on the lead. The horse that I thought would close in there would be the 1, Daddy's Reasons, who does her best running from off the pace. Can end up sitting that nice trip there. It's either going to be Sora and this horse, 6-1 on the morning line, currently up there 4-1, but very early in the wagering. Let's go to race number 2 today. 5.5 furlongs on the main track. This one is Claimants 3 and up. Non-winners of 2 races in life. $6,250. 8 runners in the field. No scratches or jockey changes. And a little later on, our track announcer, Pete Aiello. Oh, no, that's right. He's here. We'll give you all the updated scratches. I forgot that you were here. Okay, how did you see his second race?
Well, I saw it with kind of like the way I saw the first race. A lot of times in the races here at Gulfstream Park, me personally, I don't see a huge delineation between the top contenders and some horses that'll be nice prices. I thought that was the case here. I was kind of confused here with a couple of the morning line favorites, not in the sense that they shouldn't be the morning line favorites, just in the sense I didn't know what to do with them. Horses like the 5 Deciding Moment and then the 7 Dixie Conqueror, who certainly merits consideration. Long story short, I went with Riley and Jack, gets Jonathan Gonzalez back. The only time he sat on this horse, he was a good fourth, beating only 2 lengths against a pretty decent field.
Yeah, I did go with the number 7, Dixie Conqueror, turning back to 5.5 today. Responded to the surface switch last time out by stalking the pace. Finishing second, was going 6.5 furlongs. It was on the main track. I thought it was a pretty good performance. Pretty wide open affair. I used Awesome Union in second, along with Deciding Moment in third. Anything else, Pete, before we flip the page?
Let's flip the page.
Let's go to race number 3. 5.5 furlongs, maiden claimers, 2-year-olds, $16,000. 7 runners in the field, and I went with the number 3 in here, Awesome Dancer, who's the son of Awesome, of course, debuted for trainer Wesley Ward. 4 useful morning workouts showing Wesley Ward. He's 16% with his 2-year-old first-time starters, Lasix, Tyler Gaffleone. I just thought that was the way to go in here with the first-time starter.
Well, you see the ownership line there, the Red Oak stable of John Brunetti, and usually they've been cold-watering me lately, so I didn't hear anything about this horse. I took it on faith that that's because the horse might need a race. I went with the other first-time starters, the 5 Crooked Court and the 7 Be Sure Lisa. Crooked Court, my top play, debuts for Juan Arias, who's always cagey with his first-time starters. The statistics don't tell the story. You can see a flat bet profit at only an 8% win rate, but Juan Arias definitely a guy to keep in consideration with this race here, the third race of the afternoon.
Yeah, I mean, his return of investment, like you mentioned, is $3.94 with his 2-year-old first-time starters. He's 5-1-1. I used the 2-horse in there in second, and It's Love Like Mine. He's hoping to show more during the stretch ride. He responded to a drop last time. He was 4th at this level in distance. We're going to see how this race plays out. As you can hear behind us, we have a little bit of rain coming down right now, so we'll have to see how it plays. But as I mentioned at the top of the show, the main track has been sealed. Our 4th race today is our feature race of the afternoon, 1 mile and 1/16, 3-year-olds and up. It's the $75,000, the Sensitive Prince, and I know Pete wanted to go back and show you a performance of the horse we both have in second, and that is Letter Call's last race.
Yeah, I want you to see this because, in my opinion, I'm not real sure how he got so close. We'll cue it up here. He's under a full-out ride there from Jose Ferrer. Letical under a scrub. The horse who just took the lead is the eventual winner, Falling Sky. If you go back to the 4th place running right now, that's Grand Shores, Ronnie. Yeah. Grand Shores is in full stride. Looks like Letical is dead where he stands here. He's now back 4th off the corner, and then believe it or not, he's going to get beat ahead for it all. Continue to watch it. Falling Sky, who has a huge resume. That's Grand Shores, one of the best sprinters in South Florida, down the center. And Letical just refusing to give an inch here. He's going to rally between horses, lose the photo to Falling Sky, but outrun Grand Shores in the process. I thought it was a very intriguing race and a race you definitely needed to take a look at.
Yeah, he's got to be on your ticket. I did go, and so did you, with number 6, Super Lucky. He's making his local return. He's had 2 previous races here with a win for trainer Mike Trombetta. He posted a triple-digit speed figure when he won up at Monmouth. Then he goes to Saratoga. It looked like he bounced a little bit in that race. That was a $100,000 Aladar Eddie Castro ride. This horse, winner of 50% of his races at the distance, looked like the logical one to me. Not going to leave Let It Call off, and I'm glad that you used the number 1 horse in here in third, East Hall. If this horse jumped up and won, I would not be surprised at all.
No, me neither. Super Lucky's a horse. I wanted to say one thing about the Alidar. That race was a $100,000 stake, but that was a graded stakes field. Right. That was a really, really strong race. So on figures, he bounced. But I don't know that he did because the race was really tough.
Yeah, I mean, so, it's always who you're facing in races like that. So we're pretty much in agreement. Very rare do you see Pete and I with 3 right in a row. We're going to go to race number 5 this afternoon, 1 mile and 1/16 on the turf. Maiden special weight, 2-year-olds. We got a main track only still in the race. We'll update you on that if we stay on the turf, which I'm thinking right now we are on the turf. The turf course is listed as firm. And we wanted to go back and show you the performance of the horse that, Pete, you have right on top of your... No, you have Favorite Air on top of your ticket?
No, I used him second.
I do, on top of my ticket. Let's go back and show you that race.
The number 9 horse, Favorite Air here. He's actually moving up on the outside to take the lead. Now watch this. I want somebody to explain to me how this horse gets beat. He's moving away now. He's confidently handled. Ramsey Zimmerman's not moving on him, and he's striding clear. He's 3 or 4 on top off the corner. But watch this. Now, once he shakes the reins at him, Favorite Air opens even further, and inside the final furlong, he's 4 or 5 clear. Look at this. How does he lose from right there?
Yeah.
He's confidently handled. He's still 3 or 4 in front with less than an eighth of a mile to go. And I don't know if the wheels fell off or I'm already there just motored. I think it might have been a combination of both. And for that reason, I wanted you to see Favorite Air blow that big lead that day. but he did take a giant step forward when moving to the turf and stretching out. He's the horse to beat in here. The horse I tried to beat him with is a horse who was huge in his debut. Horse you used third, number 4, Yorkshire Inn.
Yeah, you know, Favorite Air was wearing blinkers for the first time in that race. Going to wear second-time blinkers this afternoon, and maybe that was the reason he was up there. Maybe they'll throttle him down a little bit. I used the 3, who we're basically in agreement here. JR's Holiday stretching out after breaking from post 11, rallying from really far back that day, Pete. 13 lengths off the pace to come within the neck of Exton in the maiden ranks, going 7.5 furlongs on the grass. Now let's talk about the 4, Yorkshire Inn. This is one first time, I believe, running since it was mentioned that it was a gelding.
The ultimate equipment change, and the blinkers go on this afternoon. Yorkshire Inn was rolling last time out. So was JR's Holiday from the back. For me, these 2 horses both have huge reasons to improve, as does the top play for Ronnie, number 9, Favorite Air. This is a very, very competitive race. I think it's a good betting race, and it starts another pick 3.
Well, let's go to race number 6 this afternoon. 6 furlongs, maiden claimers, fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up, $10,000. We have 10 runners in the field, and I went with the 2 in here, close connection, 10-1 on the morning line, turning back today to 3/4 of a mile after coming within just a nose of Exton in the maiden ranks. It was against Similar. It was going 7 furlongs. Lots of questions in here with the 6, trust your intuition. I just think that this one may be the way to go, and I was surprised to see this one 10-1 on the morning line. I got it right on top. As I mentioned, you went with the 6 number 6. Trust your intuition.
Well, it's always interesting when you see a horse routinely working 47 and change, 47-1, 47-4 out of the gate. You would not expect such a horse to debut for $10,000, but such is the case with number 6, Trust Your Intuition. She's working very, very well, but she's a 4-year-old on debut in cheap after working well. There might be an issue or two here, but speaking candidly, I think if she brings her A game to the table, at least from what she showed in the morning, everybody else runs for second month.
Yeah, I mean, the workout pattern, and you make a great point there, Pete, with, why debuting for $10,000, because the work pattern is really good. We both used the 4 Full Moons Mass. This one is going back to the main track after counting a little bit of trouble at the 3/8 pole was taken up when blinkers were added for a recent race, going 5/8 on the grass. Jose Pinchin, really good with the turf to dirt angle, about 25%. Horse here is very intriguing in the spot for $10,000.
Well, the thing about Full Moon's Mass, there's a couple of things to note about that last race. Full Moon's Mass was responsible for one of the horses that going down in that race. It was a matter of controversy, and we talked later about that race, and it looked like Full Moon's Mass just was not getting over the course at all that afternoon. So I think not only turf to dirt, but the turf experiment didn't work at all. Drops in class, should be live enough to get a share of this.
Well, let's go to race number 7 this afternoon. 1 mile and 1/16 on the turf. 3-year-olds and up, $16,000. Scratch the number 13 horse in here. And I wanted to go back and show you a performance of a horse that I have right on top of my ticket in race number 7, and that's 2 Jack's Wild. You're going to see the start of this race. I want you to see the race first at the start, and then I'll explain to you why I like this horse today. You'll see right here, as you know, Pete, absolutely no chance. Went straight up in the air in a driving rainstorm on the turf. The rain had just started. Finishes last in that race. What I liked about this horse, you go back 2 starts, I just thought this horse was running against some pretty good competition. Dropping to the $16,000 level. There's no world beaters in this race. Put a line through that race in July. Coming back. I like the connections. Diego Gomez, good rider on the turf. Why not take a shot with a 15-1 shot in this race?
And Dennis Manning has been known to pop with some long shots. He's certainly on my radar to do just that. The number 6 horse in here met my top selection. Number 6, Trier, debuts for Marcial Navarro. You have to take it on faith that this horse will be as good, if not better, than he was his last time, simply because he's now first time for Marcial Navarro. For me, if I do that, he merits a huge consideration. He stakes placed on the turf back at Gulfstream Park West last year. He gave Bad Debt all he wanted in the late stages of a stake over that way, so he can handle the turf course. He debuts for a hot barn today. He's 4-1 on the morning line, and Edgar Zayas, since returning from an injury, has been very, very good and very, very aggressive.
Well, the horse I put in second behind my long shot was the 2 One More Cat. Got Trier on, by the way, on my ticket for all the reasons you mentioned. One More Cat is dropping to the $16,000 level. Went up last time out, stalked the pace, finished fifth in that race, beaten 4+ lengths in there against $25,000 optional claimers. Mike Trombetta, Eddie Castro, been on fire, the jock, for a couple of weeks now, just been riding in great form. I just thought this one was a logical contender on there. Looking down, I had no idea it was going to be a morning line favorite in there. I had it in second in there. I would lean, if you're looking for, you don't like my long shot, I think Trier is probably the one to beat on all the reasons you mentioned. I had the 2 on the ticket. Who else did you use?
The only other horse I use is the 3 Giant Cat, and I'm happy about that, but now we have some rain here. Again, if you're just looking at Gulfstream for the first time in a couple weeks, when there's cut in the ground, yes, the turf course is firm, but it's a different kind of firm. You know, sometimes in the South Florida heat, the turf course gets like this. It's not like that right now. Giant Cat likes to come from well off the speed, and when the turf course has some moisture in it, that is a very effective running style. I like him here. He won last time out very easily.
I like that. I like that thing.
Well, you have to illustrate.
You got to do some illustration in there. I like that. I thought somebody was knocking on the door to come in, actually, for a minute. 8th race today, 1 mile, main track, maiden special weight, fillies and mares, 3 and up. We have 9 runners in the field here, and I went with the 3, Evelyn's Dream, and guess who else did? You. Why?
Well, Miss Away last time out was a very, very easy winner. Here's the caveat, though, Ronnie, for both of us. Miss Away came back, was well spotted against a other than Allowance Company, and didn't run well at all.
Right.
But you have to take it in totality. Evelyn's Dream was making her first start as a 3-year-old. She was making her first start off an extended vacation. She was making her first start for Ralph Nix, and she won with a horse who at the time was very, very good. So for me, all indications are that Evelyn's Dream is going to take a step forward, and she'll be tough to handle here.
Yeah, she's the daughter of Graham Hall, and I looked it up, and Graham Hall's about 19% with his root progeny, so it looks like this horse can certainly handle the distance. Has there been anybody hotter than the Ralph Nix barn? I don't think so. In second, Pete, I used the 1 Liberty Road. This is a daughter of Quality Road, stretching out to this 1-turn mile today after hitting the board in 3 consecutive sprint races, the best being her 7th furlong career debut on June 19th. Trainer Marty Wilson has her firing bullets in the morning. I like the fact that she, was good at 7 furlongs. I don't think the 1-turn mile is going to help her, and I think she's, a logical contender. And Marty Wilson with fillies on the main track or on the grass or anywhere does an awful good job. So I put this one in second.
Well, you actually made me a nice segue there for my second place, the 8-horse Ducasse, who also runs for Marty Wilson. So all of those accolades still apply. Here's the thing about it. Ducasse went favored last time out. Did not run well at all. Finished 6th, beaten 26 lengths. It was her first start off a freshman coming in from Maryland. But here, consider this. She was 8-5 last time out, ran awful. She was less than even money 2 starts ago, 3-5 range, and she ran awful. So now you have 2 awful runs as the favorite, and yet you still run in a maiden special weight? To me, that means that something has gone on that caused her to run bad at Laurel. They needed a race last time out, and now they've got her tuned. She's 10-1 on the morning line with Luca Panici riding.
Only Pete could come up with that one. I like that one. I threw in the 7 third. Wild Bill's Girl, stretching out today to this 8 furlong distance, finishing even 4th, 6 furlong career debut. Ed Coletti Sr., he's 1 for 9 at the meet with horses stretching out in distance, but this is a horse that I don't know if can win, but I'm thinking for trying the Supra, you might want to throw this horse somewhere on your ticket. Anybody else in here before?
Yeah, the other horse I used on the bottom's a horse who just beat Wild Bill's Girl by 10 lengths to 2, Colonel Detweiler. She has a chance to win here. Everything that applied for the 3, Evelyn's Dream, applies for Colonel Detweiler. She was 3rd off the layoff. She had to need that race. She lost to a very flashy firster in Delta Girl. That was a Ralph Nix debuter for the Kinsman stable. I think Colonel Detweiler merits consideration. She has a pretty good resume for a horse that's still a maiden.
Well, let's go to race number 9. This one is 1 mile and 1/16 on the turf. These are maiden claimants, 3 and up, $12,500. A couple of scratches near the 8 and the number 10. And we want to go back and show you the performance of the horse that both Pete and I have on top of our ticket, and that is A Main.
I like this horse a lot. This would be my single in the pick 5 and Rainbow 6. What you have to see is A Main was tracking in the pocket, got off the fence. That's him in the yellow, or rather the white blinkers in the aqua colors, just ran up to take a short lead. The favorite is right alongside in Starship Rocky. The winner's My Beholder. That's in the white and red colors. This horse was far back early, went from last to first to win. Here's A Main, though, down on the inside, running at that 1 pace to be a good 3rd in his turf debut. There was cut in the ground that day, folks. There's cut in the ground again to this afternoon. My Beholder went from far back to win it. That was the running style of the day that afternoon. A Main got a pocket trail. I think if he gets that same pocket trail here this afternoon, he'll be very, very tough to beat. I like that it was his first start around 2 turns. It was his first start on the turf. everything in the world seems to indicate to me that a main is better this time than he was last time. And to me, he doesn't have to be. All he has to do is run back to that last race, and we'll be cashing tickets.
Turning back to 7.5 furlongs, I used the 3 Major Anthem in second, and this one is actually the morning line favorite, dropping to this $12,500 level, wearing blinkers today after facing better in 3 starts and since moving to the Walter Woodard barn. And this one is current speed figure. If you're a speed figure aficionado on paper, this looks like the one to beat. Pete and I tried and beat this horse. If you're, just a straight speed figure guy with the 7 here, you made some good points with it. In second, you used the 1 horse, and it's 12-1 on the morning line.
Yeah, this horse has only had 3 starts, and he seems to be getting better. We're talking about 1 El Canguro. He's tackling the same horses that a lot of these horses are. So for me, Eddie Dominguez has the call. He'll be long. If Major Anthem wins, I lose. It's very simple. I like a main on top. But if he doesn't get the job done, there's a couple of price horses, like the 1 El Canguro, and even the 9 horse here, Ronnie, Bishop Sleeves. That race 2 back was very, very good. He actually almost hit the inside rail turning for home, so he had an alibi that afternoon and still only got beat 3 lengths. 20-1
on the morning line. That closed it out with the 2 up and left. He'll try 2 turns, trying to turn the tables on a main at this mile and the 16th distance after rallying to finish a neck behind him in their recent confrontation at 7 furlongs. Horse sort of progresses. Looks like it's going to progress with the added distance today. If you like the 7, I thought you had to have the 2 somewhere on the ticket.
Might be for me, it's a single race. If you're not me, then you probably want to spread here.
Let's go to race number 10 today. 6 furlong starter, optional claimer, fillies and mares, 3 and up, $35,000. Scratch the number 3 horse in here, Polka Dot Bikini. Pete and I both went with the number 7 here, Look Into My Eyes.
Here's the thing about it. This is actually quite appropriate because the racing vernacular, this would be the wise guy horse. So it's only appropriate that 2 wise guys sitting on the stage are picking this horse on top. She was very, very visually impressive last time out. She made her debut as a 3-year-old. She made her debut for Efren Lowe as a junior, and she won and won well. Can she handle the class hike? I'm not sure. Will she bounce? I'm not sure. But at 5-1, I'm willing to find out.
And, if you look at that work across town at Gulfstream Park West, another bullet workout, so it looks like this horse didn't lose anything, at least in the morning, and we both have it on top of our ticket. I went with the 1 in second, Summer Rae, returning to the main track today after dueling for the lead and finishing 3rd behind Katie's Kiss, who was very impressive, and a really impressive horse, the next out stakes winner, Waska. That was a pretty good performance in the $75,000 summer wins. Sally Mitchell is the trainer, Tyler Gaffleone, handling the surface switch today. If that horse can translate how it ran on the turf onto the main track today, I think you got to use it somewhere on your ticket.
Well, the interesting thing will be, how does the pace develop here? Summer Rae does her best running on or near the lead. The 2 horse, Meet Me for a Smoke, does her best running on or near the lead. The 8 horse, Competitive Player, who's one of the morning line favorites, also does her best work on or near the lead. Do they do too much too soon? Can looking into your eyes trail off the speed? I'm not sure. For me, this is a spread race because I think the favorites are vulnerable here.
Yeah, and cutting the ground or something today when it starts.
This is on the main track, sir.
Yeah, but they're still. I like saying that. I like when you go like that, so I figured I'd throw that in right there. There's a little bit of New York coming out. Last race, 7.5 on the grass. Maiden claimers 3 and up, 12-5. Full field of 12 runners. We got the super high 5 in here. How they nail this every day is amazing to me. Some great handicappers out there. You got to pick the first 5 finishes in the race, $1 wager. They nail it all the time, and it always pays $1,000. It seems like it always pays $600, $1,000, $2,000. I went with the number 9 in here. Go Salvatore, go, and I'm looking, and guess what? You did too.
Yeah, this horse made me a believer. I was not a fan of his since he's returned from the layoff. He ran well last time out, though. Whitsfield's return is a horse for Steve DeMoro that was improving and improving and improving and finally sealed the deal. He beat Go Salvador Go, who did not disgrace himself in that race, and I think that he's definitely the one to beat just based off the strength of his last 2 races. The horse who is our second choice is the 1, Starship Rocky. Listen, if a main wins, you have to move him up because a main just ran 2nd or 3rd behind Starship Rocky.
Yeah, ridden by Luca Panici today, and I really found it hard to separate the top 2. I mean, there was, if any kind of a multiple wager, I think you got to use those 2. In 3rd, I used the 11 Wild and Wild, who will move to an outside post today, post 11. He broke from the rail last time out. He was dueling through the stretch. He came up a neck short as the favorite, going a mile last time out. The 0 for 16 maiden. That's the problem in there. That's why I think this horse is good for your super high 5. Not enamored with horses that are 0 for 16. I said something yesterday about a horse, and And what did the horse do? Won. So take that with a little grain of salt, putting his horse in third for me. Who else did you use?
The 10 horse, Infield In. He makes his first start around 2 turns. He makes his first start on the turf, and he fakes his first start against this field. And when I say this field, I mean a lot of these horses run against themselves over and over and over. This horse has never been on the turf, so he's not in the, quote, turf division. So for me, Infield In merits consideration. Diego Gomez, as we touched on earlier on the program, does well on the turf course. And again, just to close the program appropriately, Ronnie, yes, there is cut in the ground. You should be able to make up ground from the back. Infield In did that last time out on the main track.
You can tell there's 2 Italians up here with all the hand gestures that we both use throughout our analysis. So it's going to be a fun day. Any closing words, Pete?
Good luck.
Good luck today. Cut in the ground. See ya.
The Rainbow Six is back and it's better than ever. Now with a 20-cent base wager, it will expand the market.